It's where I wanna be. There's a place for you and me. Feel the sun on your face. Feel the breeze in the shade. Like rainy days. You wash my sins away. Clouds flowing by, birds flying high. Alright, this is Jeremiah Israel, and this is the Jeremiah Report. That's right, the Jeremiah Report. It's official. Obama signed the NDAA 2, I believe, the 2013 NAA on Wednesday to make indefinite detention of civilians law. You know those bases in Guantanamo Bay that you was hearing so much about? You might be in it one of these days. If your government think you are a threat to them. That's right. That's right. Believe me, I know. This government is so panicky. It's not even freaking funny. It is off the fucking chain. It is off the chain right here. And I'm telling you. And you don't want that. That's why they want your guns. That's why they want your guns. That's why they passing laws why to get your guns. Okay? Check it out, man. President Obama signed the National Defense Authority Act of 2013 on Wednesday, giving him a stamp of approval to the Pentagon spending bill that will keep Guantanamo Bay open and make indefinite detentions for U.S. citizens as likely as ever. The president inked his name to the 2013 NDAA on Wednesday evening to let fanfare and accompany his signature with a statement condemning a fair number of provisions containing in a bill that he nevertheless endorsed. The NDAA, otherwise mundane annual bill that lays out the use of funds for Department of Defense, has come under attack during the Obama administration for the introduction of a provision last year that allows the military to detain United States citizens indefinitely without charge or trial for mere suspicions of ties to terrorism. Under the 2012 NDAA's Section 1021, President Obama agreed to give the military the power to arrest and hold Americans without the writ of a habeas corpus, although he promised with that year's signing statements that this administration will not abuse the privilege. In response to the controversial indefinite detention provision from last year, Senator Dianne Feinstein, D. California, introduced an amendment in December 2012 that would have forbid the government from using military force to indefinitely detain Americans without trial under the 2013 NDAA. Although that provision doubled the Feinstein's amendment, passed the Senate anonymously. A select panel of lawmakers led by Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Charles Levin is from the final version of the NDAA 2 weeks later before it could clear Congress. In exchange, Congress added a provision Section 1029, that claims to ensure that any person, indeed the United States, is allowed their constitutional rights, including corpus corpus. But supporters of the Feinstein Amendment say that the SRA'EL wording does nothing to erase the indefinite detention and provisions from the previous year. They're saying that new language somehow ensures the right to habeas corpus, the right to be presented before a judge, is both questionable and not enough, since it must not only be formally charged but also receive jury trials and the other protections our Constitution guarantees. Habeas corpus is simply the beginning of the due process. It is by no means the whole. Senator Rand Paul said after the Feinstein Amendment was removed, our Bill of Rights is not something that can be cherry-picked at legislatures and conventions when entering the United States Senate. I took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. It is for the reason that I will strongly oppose passage of the McLean Conference report that strips the guarantee to a trial by a jury, Paul added. Although the President Obama rejected an indefinite detention clause when signing in 2012 NDAA, a statement issued later Wednesday from the White House failed to touch on the military detainment abilities. On the other hand, President Obama did voice his opposition to the number of provisions, including the latest bill, particularly ones that will essentially render his promise of closing the Guantanamo Bay military prison impossible. Despite repeated pleas that Guantanamo will be closed on the watch, President Obama failed to do so as much during his first term in the White House. Into provisions in 2013, NDAA, the Pentagon will be unable to use the funds to transfer the team out of that facility and other signs, ensuring they will remain at the top secret military prisons for the time being. Even though I support the vast majority of the provisions contained in the Act, which is comprised of 100 of sections spanning more than 680 pages of the text, I do not agree with them all. Our Constitution does not afford the President the opportunity to approve or reject statutory sections one by one. President Obama writes, Congress claimed that the President designed section of the new defense bill in order to foreclose my ability to shut down Guantanamo Bay definitely facilities. I continue to believe that the operation of the facilities weaken our national security by wasting resources, damaging our relationships with key allies, and strengthening our enemies, he says. Elsewhere, the President claims that certain provisions in the Act threatens to interfere with the constitutional duty to supervise the executive branch of the United States. Before 2013, NDAA was finalized. It was reported by the White House that President Obama would veto the legislation over the provision involving Guantanamo Bay. Similar, the White House originally said that the President would veto the 2012 NDAA over indefinite detention provisions, although he signed it regardless with reservations on December 31 of that year. Since authorities in 2012 NDAA, the President has been challenged in federal court by a team of plaintiffs who say that the indefinite detention clause is unconstitutional. U.S. District Judge Catherine Forrest agrees that Section 1021 of the 2012 NDAA violates the United States Constitution and granted a permanent injunction on the Obama's administration from using that provision, but the White House successfully fought to appeal the decision. commenting on the latest signs. American Civil Liberties Union executing Director Anthony Ramirez says President Obama has utterly failed the first step of his second term, even before inauguration day, whatever. His signature means indefinite detention without charge or trial, as well as the illegal military commission will be extended as Romero. He also has jeopardized his ability to close Guantanamo during his presidency. Scores of men who have already been held for nearly 11 years without being charged with a crime, including more than 80 who have been cleared for transfer, may very well be imprisoned unfairly for yet another year. The president should use whatever discretion he has in the law to order many of the detainees transferred home, and finally stepped up next year to close Guantanamo Bay and bring an indefinite end to indefinite detention. And you know he's not going to do that. You know he's not going to do that. You know he's going to do it. He's not going to do that. Okay, I'm gonna go in the scripture real quick. Go in the scripture real quick. And this is, I mean, you think indefinite detention is going to just limit to black people are already under siege when it comes to prison. Okay, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 28. The prophet that have a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that have my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Lord? Okay, your dream of an American dream for black people or Israel was false. I believe it was a timely way, or giving people time while you busy with the America and the American dream, giving people time to set up this new world crazy ass government. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 32. Behold, I'm against them, the prophets that prophesy false dreams, saith the Lord, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies, by their likeness. Yet I send them not, nor commanded them, therefore they shall not profit this people at all, saith the Lord. You had a few years, 50, 40 years, of some wicked person buying time to imprison us all or kill us all. They even taking our weapons. They trying to put the military on the streets. Okay, they're giving military powers to indefinitely detain civilians for no goddamn reason. I mean, no reason. Americans. Alright? And it's not going to go easy on black folk. Jeremiah 24, verse 3. Then saith the Lord unto me, what seest thou, Jeremiah? I said figs. I said figs, and the good figs, very good, and the evil, and the very evil that cannot be eaten. They are so evil. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, thus saith the Lord, the God of Isaac, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away in captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. This land of Chaldeans is America. Okay, for I will set my eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them and not put them down, and I will plant them and not pluck them up. This is what's going to happen in the future. We're going to go out of this land into another one, because Martin Luther King's dream of a dream was actually a lie. To buy time for somebody. Okay? Alright?